my life in music. I mean, I was telling these folks that for 10 years I would have people coming in and out of my band and they go, oh man, you need to learn the Nashville Number System. I go, I don't need that. I know all the chords and I know how to play. I don't need that. Well, one day I got over my stubbornness. I'm sitting at home. I thought, I'm just going to learn that system and see what there is to it. Well, the moment I started learning it, bells and whistles just start going off and lights are coming on, you know. And it's like, golly, why didn't I take my time and learn this years ago? It's so simple compared to the rest of it. Well, which is why they do it in the Nashville studios. You know, they basically go in and say, we're playing this in B. It's got a 1, 4, 5, and a 2 in it. You know, and that's all they say. And it doesn't. Why is that important, or why would that be better than just saying, well, it's got a G, C, D, and an A in it? You know, why is that better? The reason is because everybody likes to play their own way. Some people like to play open. Some people like to play with a capo, and some people, even when they play with a capo, they put it in a different place than somebody else. Somebody might put it on the 2nd fret, somebody might put it on the 4th fret, and then they play different key. You know, it's all personal preference. But the thing about the numbers is that never changes. It doesn't matter. It's always the same. No matter what way you play it, the numbers and the order that the numbers come in the song always are the same. Okay? That's why the numbers are so much simpler. But then there's even bigger advantages. And you think, well, if I'm not playing in a band, who cares, you know? Well, there's even bigger advantages. Once you start thinking in numbers, you just simplify your world down to 7 things versus 7 times 7, which would be like 49, whatever that is. So, math's not my strong suit. But anyway, so instead of 49 possibilities with the letters that you would have, you have now only 7 possibilities. It's just that simple. I mean, it's really that simple. So like you can be hearing a song on the radio, and you may not know what key they're in. You don't know that they're in B, for instance, but you can tell they just went to a 2 chord. And how can you tell that? Because from a 1 to a 2, it has the same relative sound every single time. Doesn't matter what key you're in. When you're moving from your 1 to your 2, it has the same relative sound. Same relative sound from the 1 to the 4, same relative sound to the 1 to the 5. So that sounds, you start listening about those sounds, and that becomes the most important thing. And you only have 7 sounds to learn. Then it becomes so simple to learn even the most complicated song, because that sound is always the same. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Am I coming through? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? It's a relativeness, meaning from where you start to where you're going, that sound will always sound the same. Let me give you a quick example. Forgive me, I'm Bluegrass, so everything I do is going to be a Bluegrass flame, okay? All right, so an old Bill Monroe tune, and it's just a good example of a 2 chord, okay? I'm going to use it for showing what a 2 chord is. It's got G, C, D, and then the A would be the 2 chord in this example. So when I go to the A, that'll be down, I'll be sliding down here for the A, okay? So G, C, D, G, C, D, and then when I slide down here for the A, that's the 2 chord, and that's the sound I want you to think about. How did that sound, okay? It starts off with a little yodel. That was a 1-5, by the way. Long about round-up time in Texas, way out west. I lost a friend and a pal, boys, and I laid him down to rest. How that pushed it up, see? The 2 chord pushes up. The 2 chord sounds the same, always from a 1. So I laid him down to rest. Now what's also cool about knowing it by numbers, every time you play a 2, and okay, take it with a grain of salt. When I say every time, there's always an exception. But 99 times out of 100, when you go to a 2, your next chord is going to be a 5. You don't even have to think about it. But on the mandolin, it is so simple, because wherever you start, first of all, and this is a rule on any instrument, wherever you start, like if you're playing a song in G, G is always 1. That's the first rule of the number system. Whatever key you're in, it's always 1. So if we're in B, B is 1. Okay? If we're in A is 1. If we're in G, G is 1. Okay? Now the cool thing about the mandolin is that every time you're at 1, it doesn't matter if you want to go to a number, no matter from 1, it will always be in the same place. Same relative place. For instance, if I'm at 1 and I want to go to a 4, I just go up to my middle, I just go right straight above it, and there's 4. Period. It's always there. No exceptions. Okay? If I'm down here, I can be down here. I don't even know the name of this chord. But if I'm there and that's 1, there's 4 right above it. there's no exceptions. Okay? So on the mandolin, it's so simple. 1, 1, 1, 4, 5. And so 5 is two more down from 4. Why is it that it's in numerical order? Because it's in alpha. You know how the music's in alphabetical order? The numbers are in numerical order too. So that makes it even simpler. So like if G is 1, then A is 2, then B is the 3 chord, C would be the 4 chord, D would be the 5 chord, E would be the 6 chord, and that would be your 6 minor if you were looking for a minor, and then the F is the 7 chord. Also, if you're up here at G and you want to go back to a 7, you just back up 2 frets and there's a 7, see? So it's always in the same relative place. So when you don't just go straight down the neck like I did. I was just doing that for an example. But if I wanted, if that's my 1, my 4 is right above it, my 5's 2 down from the 4 because it's 2 notes higher, see? So it's 1, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. It's always in the same place. If I start right here at B flat, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, okay? So the mandolin is really, really simple. Have you ever been to Richmond in November when a cold Virginia rain is pouring down? There's the 4. And I'm here to tell you there's no pleasure. Back to 1. Now here's a 2. When you're all alone and a stranger to this town, there's the 5. So that 2 had that push up again. Why does the 2 sound like it's pushing it up? Because it's 2 notes higher than the 1. It's 1 step up, see? You're stepping up, so you're pushing it up. So you can start hearing these things on the radio, and you'll be going, he just pushed that, that's a 2. You'll just start knowing, that was a 3, because you're listening in terms of numbers. If you listen in terms of chords, you'll almost never get there, unless you're just like a musical genius. But if you listen in terms of numbers, there's only 7 sounds. It's that simple. Everybody thinks, it's way more complicated than that. Well, sure, it is. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it a little bit. I realize that because there's minors and all that junk. But generally speaking, to play gazillions of songs, there's 7 sounds. 5 back to 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 back to 1. Now listen to the 7. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now we're down to 7. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 back to 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now we're going down to a 7. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 back to 1. It's that when you start thinking of them in terms of numbers, those sounds you'll start noticing them in songs. And it doesn't have to be one that you've heard. I guarantee you, when you start really getting those sounds down, there's just 7 of them. How hard can that be to learn 7 sounds? When you get those 7 sounds down, you can be at any key and you'll be going, he just went down. That had to be a 7. And you just go down there and you find it, see? And it makes it learning even the most complicated songs so much simpler. And as I told you, the minors, 9 times out of 10, look for that 6 minor. And how do you find it on a mandolin? It's always in that same place. It's 1 here, 4, 5, and then there's the 7. On the guitar, the 6, is what I meant to say, 6 minor. On the guitar, it's that E minor. That's we're just talking to G again, remember. I'm not showing them all the different chords today, it's just too complicated. So out of G, that's your 6 minor is that E minor. So you got G, C is 4, 5, and then like on that Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Da 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 da. E minor, 6 minor, back to 1, 1, 6 minor, 6 minor, back to 1, and then to 5. See? Makes sense?
You were talking about a circle. If you had a piece of cardboard with notes around it and another one with the numbers, and it rotated, you could find your place with
exactly.
A calculator.
I make one of those. It's on my website.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but it just seemed like
Yeah, and it's actually more complicated than you think, and it wouldn't be if there weren't flats and sharps in there.
Yes.
The flats and sharps is what screws that up by just making it that simple. But I actually made one that compensates for about 90% of your stuff, but it doesn't let you start in a flat or sharp.
Oh, okay.
But it does compensate for the flats and sharps as long as you don't start in a flat or sharp. Okay. But and some people do that, of course, like if you want to start in B flat or something. But that little chord dial I have on my website does that. But it's almost, I'm almost convinced it's impossible to make one that's 100% accurate. I mean, you can do it with a computer, but I don't think you can do it with a piece of paper, you know what I mean? Any other questions up to that point? Well, okay.
Jerry, do you know of any it sounds like ear training is going to be a big part of this.
Well, actually, when you start thinking in the numbers, it will train your ear. It's the other way around. It trained my ear for me. I thought I had a pretty good ear before. Nothing like I have now comparatively, because again, I'm only hearing 7 sounds, and I know where those 7 sounds are now.
Okay.
It's like, have you ever sat down and just tried to figure out a song? You know, your ear lets you know, that's the melody of that song. Well, there's 7 notes there that you got to work with pretty much, you know, and your ear gets to know those 7 notes, and you can tell that melody. Well, it's no different on the chords. It's those same 7 notes, basically, but it's in a chord deal. But when you start thinking about it in terms of numbers, it will train your ear. Like I just told you, on the radio, I guarantee you'll hear that song, and you'll before very long, if you start thinking this way, before long you'll go, oh, he just went to a 2 chord. 2 is really easy to recognize. It pushes it up, you know. And that 3 chord is really easy to recognize because it's got that real pretty sound. I love the time or two. That pretty sound, you know. It's just got a unique sound. And it has that sound no matter what key you start in, that 3 will have that same sound. See? I can start it down here in B. I can't sing it in B. I love the time or two. See? It's got that same pretty sound, see?
Okay. Do you know of any exercises to do there, or do you recommend just playing songs and listening to songs?
I think what you need to do, I think an exercise would be to take like one song and keep stepping it up your neck and listen to that and hear how it changes relative. Okay. You'll notice that the sound is still the same, and you already know that. I mean, you already know that, but start concentrating in terms of the numbers and associate that sound to the number versus the letter. And when you do that, then see, it'll train your ear. I guarantee you it will. Let's just play a couple of simple bluegrass tunes. We'll do that. We'll do we'll do that little yodel tune I did at the beginning, because it's just G, C, D, which would be 1, 4, 5, and it's got the 2 in it. Okay. And whenever you go to the 2, what's your next chord going to be after the 2? A5. That's going to be 5. Okay. All right. So first of all, the little yodel does a 1, 5, 1. Okay. So that would be a G, D, G for the guitar players. 1, 5, 1. Do that again. See how that sounds? Hear that 1, 5 sound? There we go. All around the time in 4 with C, with that 1. 4, 5, okay? And keep in mind, that's the 1, that's the 4, that's the 5, okay? 1, 4, 5, okay? So you guys know the guitar chords, so that's your G, that's your C, and that's your D, okay? All right, here we go. We live